What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome in to a Wednesday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt, and we are back after a not good day. So last week, we were red hot. We won over 10 units last week. We hit a high water mark of 42 units. That was our high water mark for 2025. Whenever that happens, and a couple of you guys have been wise to this, is that whenever we get really hot like that, and I've told you for 5 years now, the regression is going to show up, and welcome to the regression, and welcome to the bottom, because we go off on Monday and awful on Tuesday. 0-3, down 3.25 units. The Aces lose outright. The Red Sox lose outright. The Dodgers lose outright. All three games down the drain. 3.25 units down. We are down nearly 7 units for the week to start it off here on a Tuesday. So this is a hole. I've dug us a nice little hole here as to how we can get ourselves out of it. At this point, I'm just trying to be negative, to be negligent, zero. I'm just trying to get back to zero. So I'm trying to climb our way out of it. We're not going to have a winning week, most likely. This is when you get off to this rough of a start. Normally, I don't get off to a very strong week, or have a winning week. So, which is fine. I mean, again, I've said it before, we don't win every day, we don't win every week, we don't win every month, but we have done very well over July, August, and now here into September. We're very high. We're still way up for the month, but yeah, it stinks when this happens. So here's what's going on. Not only did I go 0-3 last night, not only did I lose 3 units plus on Monday, the internet provider where I'm currently staying at my girlfriend's house, they issued a alert last night, like at 8 o'clock, of like, hey, by the way, tomorrow we are doing work in your area, and we are going to be showing outages throughout the entire region and where you are. So I get up this morning, and it's currently 7:30 Eastern time. There's no internet here. Now, luckily, I can tape this, but the podcast has been coming out pretty early. It's been coming out around 8 o'clock Eastern time. There's no way I'm posting it by 8 o'clock Eastern time. So if you're wondering why the delay this morning, well, that's why, because there's no internet here at the house. So I got to go somewhere. Here's the kind of bummer thing. Until I get out of the sling, until I can take the thing off, until I'm cleared to drive, I can't drive myself anywhere. So Amanda, my girlfriend, we have to go work. She needs to do work too. So we have to go do work at a coffee shop, and then I got to post. So the hope is posting video. If you guys have ever tried to post a video in coffee shops, not always the easiest. So fingers crossed that I go to a coffee shop and we have the enough bandwidth to post this thing at some point this morning. So that's why there was a delay today of getting the Daily Juice podcast out. So if you're wondering, like, Matt, where is the podcast? That's why. So it's just been a rough start to the week. Okay, Monday bad, Tuesday bad. So here's the other problem. I can't do the same level of research that I normally would do because, well, I don't have access to the internet. So rather than force it today, and granted, I normally take days off anyway, I have all the research that I already did for yesterday's podcast with Pat Fitzmaurice. If you guys haven't gone and watched it, we did a full breakdown of week 3 in the NFL. I have that. I have all that research. I have all that information and all the picks that I've talked about. So we're just going to have a football podcast today. So we're not going to do baseball. I warned you guys yesterday a bit about what was going on in baseball. These last 15 games, the books have got so much data. I mean, they are razor sharp with their numbers. They're razor sharp with their prices. Like, this is the end of the year. This is always a very difficult time to bet any sport, whether it be football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever. When you get to the end of the regular season, it can be difficult. Now, there are betting opportunities, but we're not fully, at least me, I'm not fully paying attention to baseball because the second we get to football, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm betting football. So that's kind of the problem when it comes to baseball for me to hear on a Wednesday. What I will do, though, is I'm going to update you as to where we are on our futures that are currently in play. I'll tell you guys after we give out the football plays. I'll update you as to where we are from a record standpoint, where we are from a progression standpoint when it comes to Major League Baseball. So stay tuned for all of that. Now, the Tyreek Hill jersey is still available. It's going to be given away coming up at the end of the month. If you want to be involved, you're going to subscribe to the BettingPros YouTube channel, and you are going to comment on this video. If you do that, you could very well win an autographed, signed Tyreek Hill Miami Dolphin jersey from our friends at pristineauction.com. You guys should know by now, but in case you don't, Hard Rock Bet is the new presenting sponsor of the Daily Juice podcast. Hard Rock Bet is the only legal sports book in the state of Florida, and it's also available in Arizona, Ohio, New Jersey, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, and Colorado. Nevada and other states will come online at some point in the next couple of years. You can also play Hard Rock Bet, the online casino, if you live in the state of New Jersey. As we gear up for the NFL, you can go and make a $5 deposit, make a $5 bet, and you guys will win $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Head over to Hard Rock Bet, sign up today, and make your first deposit. There is no promo code, by the way, in case you're wondering. How do we, people have been asking, how do we give the juice credit? There's no promo code. Just go and use it. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer, offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida in Florida, offered by Seminole Hard Rock Digital LLC in all other states. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Illinois, Indiana, New Jersey, Ohio, Tennessee, Virginia to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerns about gambling in Florida, call 188-ADMIT-IT. In Indiana, or if you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, New Jersey, Ohio, Tennessee, and Virginia. Okay, let's talk about Thursday night. Bills and the Dolphins. Numbers 11 and a half, really. It's been as high as 12 and a half, but then it was bet down a little bit yesterday to 11 and a half. Look, the Dolphins are going to Buffalo, and the Bills are playing at such an elite level right now. I mean, I don't even mind you go ahead and just lay the 11.5, but to me, this feels like a prime time, same game teaser opportunity. We haven't done many of these officially on the Daily Juice, but I think this is the time to get involved with this because I want to cross 7. I mean, maybe the Bills win by 7. They don't cover, but I cannot see the Bills losing to the Miami Dolphins. In particular, just the way that the Dolphins play in the fourth quarter. We saw it in the Patriot game. Like, they just don't have it in terms of that it factor to make big plays. A-Chain steps out on the 20-yard line that saved the game for the Patriots. Pats win by 6. It's just been a very rough start to the year for the Miami Dolphins. In particular, their defense has gotten off to a really rough start. And this is not the time to go to Buffalo, where the Bills are coming off of a complete destruction of the New York Jets on the road. So you've got a win for the Buffalo Bills in week number 1, in which they scored over 40 points. They destroyed the Jets on the road, where they scored nearly 40 points. And now you have the Dolphins trying to slow down Buffalo in prime time on a short week where you're traveling north to the Bills. This has again, sometimes it's just a bad spot. This is just a bad spot for the Miami Dolphins. So if you want to lay the 11.5, go ahead, but I think it's the same game teaser opportunity. I do not think the Bills score any less. I will probably come back on tomorrow's podcast and have a Bills team total over bet. That's probably also what I'm going to do in this game. But I think just pulling it down into a 6-point teaser and you pull it to 5.5 here for, where did that go? I didn't put it up. I apologize. I thought I did. Hold on. The screen's blank for a second. Hold on. Let me get that for you here on a Wednesday. Sorry about that. Where did that go? Hold on. Okay, hold on. There it is. Okay. Oh, no, that's not. Yeah, that's right. There it is. Okay, there it is. So Bills minus 5.5 and the over 43.5 here for the Bills and the Dolphins. So Bills 5.5, over 43.5. Shop around on prices. This is one option at minus 123 where you guys can go and take a look at different plays. I tend to get a little better prices on that, but you guys are all kind of like, where do you get the 120? Well, I'm not disclosing that. But there's places where you can find minus 120, but minus 123 is available, for different books, 125 at other books. Don't go and don't pay 135, okay? Don't pay that. But somewhere in the 120s is not a bad price for teasers. But I just think same game teaser, over 43.5, 5.5, from 11.5, pull it down, go over for the Buffalo Bills. Bet number 2. This is for Sunday. This number has opened at 46.5. It's been bet right to 50, and Pat Fitzmaurice was right to talk about jumping on it immediately. I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys to win the game, but I'm going to watch and see how many points I wind up getting because the Bears are favored. And so, all right, the Bears are favored. Why are the Bears favored? Well, the Cowboys going on the road, it's more of a fade on their defense. So since we know the Cowboys can't stop anybody, we watched it against the Giants, and we know the Bears can't stop anybody. We watched it against the Lions. Why don't we just look at the total? Total was opening up. It opened up at 46.5. It's now 50. Gerard Bland's not going to play in this game for the Dallas Cowboys. They did pick up Jadeveon Clowney, which will help with their pass rush, but it's the first game for Clowney, so I'm not sure how big of an impact or how many snaps he'll be out there on the field for the Dallas Cowboys. I know that Dak Prescott's going to cook that defense. I mean, we know that. We know that the offense is going to run the ball and throw the ball at will, but a running quarterback is a problem for the Dallas Cowboys. Russell Wilson could have probably ran for more than he did, but he threw for 450 yards against this defense. We're not fixing that defense in a day. We're not fixing that defense in a week. The Cowboys are going to score, 28? How many points will the Bears score? I mean, this has like a 30-28 type game written all over it. It's really hard for this game to go under. All that steam going from 46.5 to 50. Again, key numbers, 52, 53, 54. We're at 50. My gut tells me this number is going to keep on climbing and get higher and higher and higher. And we see some resistance coming up at 52, 53, somewhere there. But right now, let's take the 50. Let's jump in on it now before it goes over there. 49.5. Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears over 49.5. Let's have a 50-point, let's go over 50 here. Minus 108 at 1.08 units. Cannot see much happening here at all in terms of a scoring or lack of scoring between Cowboys and the Bears. In particular, check the weather report for the weekend for Chicago. It's going to be beautiful, like hot. So we're going to have tired defenders. We're going to have offenses with no problem throwing the football around the field here in September. A very warm day in Chicago for this one. Over 49.5 for the Cowboys and the Bears. And finally, I'm going to give you a teaser early because I want these numbers are perfect at the moment. The Packers are going to be a team that I'm going to play in Survivor against the Browns on the road. Why? Well, on the road, we have seen in the month of September, in the first 3 weeks of the season, under Matt LaFleur, the Packers are 8-1 against the spread since 2019. I mean, Matt LaFleur is tremendous against the number. So I think they're going to cover the 7.5, but we can just go ahead and take it and pull it down to 1.5 and take the Packers. I think it's just 6-point teaser. Green Bay Packers down from 7.5 down to 1.5 against the Browns. I know it's on the road, but I'm not really worried about that. I mean, the Browns in divisional games, okay, but they're 0-2, and now they're facing a Packers team with Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love and this running attack and this defense for Micah Parsons. It's just, I think as the weeks go here, the Packers are going to get better and better, and I don't like this Browns team. I think they will continue to get worse, and Joe Flacco and whoever's at quarterback and whatever they wind up doing, I'm not worried about it. I like the Packers in Survivor, but I like the Packers as a teasing option as well to go ahead and pull them down from 7.5 down to 1.5. Green Bay on the road. We're crossing 3. We're crossing 7. 2 key numbers. I like that a lot. I don't want to see this number run as high as 8.5. Just make sure you can get down below 3, okay? Just make sure you're getting below 3. So if it hits 9, don't play this. But at 7.5, 8, 8.5, I have no problem pulling this down to 2.5, 2, or 1.5 for the Green Bay Packers. On the other side, I'm doing what I've been telling you guys. I'm fading the Giants. The Chiefs on the road, they can't lose this game. The Chiefs are 0-2. They lose this game, they go to 0-3. They go to 0-3, and the Chargers are playing the Broncos. And if the Chargers beat the Broncos, which I think that they might, the Chargers will be 3-0 in the division, and the Chiefs will be 0-3. I mean, it's not over, but it's kind of over. I mean, it's a really big lead. The Chiefs are not going to win the division if they lose this football game. Like that's how big this game is to me, given what's going on. Now, if the Broncos beat the Chargers, the Broncos are 2-1. The Chargers are 2-1, and the Chiefs, if they win this game, they're 1-2. Whole different situation, whole different race. So there is so much at stake here in these two football games, but it comes down to the Chiefs winning at New York. The Giants, I mean, look, Russell Wilson played a horrific defense in week 2. He's playing one of the best in week 3. I don't think you're going to see Russell Wilson throw very much. In week 1, he didn't throw very much because he took on a very good defense. I think unders on Russ props, go ahead. Completions, yards, touchdowns, all of it, under. I don't think the Giants are going to move the football. I don't think they're going to score. Steve Spagnuolo obviously ties to the Giants. He's now coming back to New York. You know how he's going to be for this football game. You know how this defense is going to be for this football game. It's a 6-point spread. Pull it down to a pick. Take the Chiefs to cover. So we're going Green Bay, -1.5, teased with the Green Bay Packers. Sorry, with the KC Chiefs down to a pick. All right, so plays for us Wednesday, but no plays for today. We take the day off after a really rough start to the week. We'll take a look and hopefully, get ourselves right for the rest of the week. Thursday night, same game teaser. Buffalo -5.5, over 43.5. Dallas and the Bears over 49.5 at -108. And the Green Bay Packers teased with the KC Chiefs. Green Bay -1.5. The Chiefs going to a pick for us on a Wednesday. Now, I have no internet, so I need to use my phone to tell you guys where we are from a standings perspective in Major League Baseball. But as we go ahead and take a look at what's going to happen going forward for us here from a betting perspective, the good news is we have hit that the Tampa Bay Rays will miss the postseason. That bet will come in. We made that at the All-Star break. We got that. We were correct coming up on that play. So cash that. We've cashed that the Colorado Rockies under 59.5 wins. The Rockies have 41 wins. They're not getting there. Now, we have Milwaukee to win the World Series at 27-1. That's live. We have the Astros to win the World Series at 10-1. You can get a much better number now, but that's still live. So we still have the ability to play off of that. We have the Cubs to win the National League pennant. The Cubs are 87-64, and the Cubs most likely, barring, they haven't clinched it yet, but the Cubs are in. So they have a 9-game lead. So they are good. The Cubs are going to be a wild card team. They'll be the number 1 wild card team most likely. They're 87-64. So the Cubs' future, Milwaukee future, and the Astros' future are all still alive. The Astros have now passed the Red Sox for the second wild card. So the Astros would play the Yankees here in the opening round of the wild card. The Red Sox would then go and play a division winner, most likely Seattle, a division winner coming up here for that. So that's a little bit of a different spin from an American League standpoint. But let's talk about wins. So as I mentioned, we've hit the Rockies. What about the Cardinals? The Cardinals have 74 wins. They're 74-78. We need the Cardinals to win 2 more games. 2 more games, okay? That's all we need, to win 2 more games. Hey, balloons. We win 2 more games, Cardinals get there. So we're watching the Cardinals very closely on that. The Rangers are the question. They're 79-73. The Rangers have lost 3 games in a row. They were red hot, and they've cooled off a little bit here for us. I don't know if we're getting there, to be quite honest. Now, if they beat the Astros tonight, which would be huge, they would get to 80 wins. They would be 80-73, so 153. So we'd have 9 games left. They would need to go 6-3 down the stretch for us to get there. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. We're not dead yet. They'll play 3 games at home against the Marlins, and they'll play 3 games at home against the Twins. If they win all 6, we're there. Will they? Probably not. I think 4-2 is probably the best we can hope for. And then the Rangers play at the Guardians, which is a really dangerous situation. So we may be having to hedge off of that price at some point in a week or two. In the last weekend, on the 26th, 27th, and 28th of September, we may be looking having to hedge. So just a heads up on that. So that's where we currently stand. We're 1-0. Tampa Bay got there, so we're 2-0. We're hoping on the Rangers. We're hoping on the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals will get there for 3-0. The Rangers is the question, and then the other futures with the Cubs, the Brewers, and the Cubs, Brewers, Cubs, and the Astros are our other futures. So heading off, hopefully, to a good end of the month for us with Major League Baseball. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all my socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning, wherever you guys get your podcasts. It is the Daily Juice.